Howdy folks, AJ coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer, and we are inside Moebius, Empire Rising. And unfortunately, the reason I decided to do this video was that I need to communicate to everyone out there that was thinking about buying this game that I cannot give a recommendation to buy this game in its current state right now. The developers have gone on to the forums and said that they are working on a fix for the game-breaking bugs that are in the game as it stands right now. They've even gone so far as to provide some save game files for those people that are stuck because of the game breaking bugs, to allow them to bypass those sections and continue the game if they wish to do so, which on one hand is admirable that they are doing that. However, it should have never come to this point. It should never get to a point where a game that came out in April, and here it is, January of the following year, the beginning of the new year, and we still have game-breaking bugs in this game. And when I say game-breaking, I mean there are sections of the game that you will get to where the game will completely just freeze up on you, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you cannot go any further. And that's why they've provided these save games to get past that. And that is a workaround. That is true. However, if I had to do it all over again, I would not have put the money out for this until once it was completely fixed and I knew there was no more game-breaking bugs like that, and I could play the game with continuity without having to use a third party's save game to get past a stuck, an area where it has a complete freeze up. I would then buy it, of course, after that. But at this point, I cannot recommend it for purchase. Now, having said all that, there are some elements to this game that I really like. I really like the story. I really like the plot. The graphics, as you can see, are dated. The character animations are clumsy. So there's some issues like that. But those types of issues, I have no problem with. If the story is engrossing and the plot is good and the characters are enjoyable, I have no problem looking past any of the aesthetic stuff. None whatsoever. I routinely go back and play adventure games that are 15 years old with much, really dated graphics and so forth, obviously. And I have no problem with that. It doesn't buy. I'll go play the original King's Quest right now if I got the itch to do it, and it wouldn't bother me a bit. So all that aside, I would still recommend a game, regardless of what as far as adventure games goes, regardless of what the aesthetics are. Now, getting back to some of the other things about this game that I think are quite detrimental to being a popular choice amongst adventure gamers, is that the main character, this guy right here, Malachi, is not a likable character. He is not a likable character even a little bit. He is an egotistical, pompous ass. And I will show that to you.
We should catch up on what's been going on while I was away.
Let's do it.
So what's the next assignment?
You just got here. You probably haven't even been to your penthouse yet.
That wasn't the question.
Fine. There's a supposedly undiscovered Rembrandt in Rome for Sotheby's, and 2 pieces in Egypt for Rutherford's.
Take them both.
Malachi, you just got out of the hospital. You should let your body rest, at least long enough to get used to a time zone.
With the economy in the gutter, there are a lot of desperate people right now. Desperate enough to sell Grandma's Harrington, or create a good forgery. I might as well make the money while I can.
You're driving yourself too hard. Your body needs...
What my body needs is no concern of yours.
No. Thanks for reminding me. There was also a new client who called. Something about a government contract.
Who is this new client?
Amble Dexter, 452 Central Park West. He wouldn't say what it was about, just that he needed someone with your expertise.
If he wouldn't even say what it's about, then it's not worth my time following up.
Well, it is a very upscale address, but do as you please.
You said in your email that you've been looking into security options?
I made a list of the reputable security agencies in New York. You should have a bodyguard travel with you. With the money you earn on these assignments, you can afford it.
No, they'd only get in the way and be tiresome. I prefer to travel alone.
Fine. There are other options.
Then continue to get your ass kicked. That's what I would have said to him.
What other options do you have for security?
I've been researching security agencies in various international cities. I can set someone up when you travel. Have them meet you at the airport.
I can't trust someone I've just met. How could I be sure they weren't already bought off?
These are reputable agencies. You have to get over your trust issues.
No other brilliant ideas about security?
I have a report on where to buy guns in various countries. It's not a very good option, but it's better than going into a bad situation unarmed. And maybe the mere presence of a gun will remind you not to shoot off your mouth.
Gretchen.
I mean, give your fascinating opinion quite so freely.
All right. Maybe we'll try that next time. That's all for now.
Very well.
So we'll go into his office here.
How did he know I was in Manhattan? And how did he get my cell phone number?
Dun dun dun. It's a mystery. Here's a clue there, schmuck. Rich people have ways of getting information.
I find it best to have my clients associate me with interesting but unusual finds. The artwork is all chosen for that purpose, and I change it every few months. The desk looks good and is functional, but it doesn't have a particularly interesting history. The desk looks good. I don't use my computer like I used to. Everything is on my phone these days. It's a letter from Mr. Barozzi, an antique dealer in Venice. He has a brilliant eye for interesting pieces. He's a little quaint. He insists on sending snail mail. I'd like to see what Barozzi's found. Perhaps I'll be passing through Venice sometime soon.
So that gives you some idea of the mechanics. I have to wait for him to finish taking his pills before I can make him move.
I'll take my passport with me.
So we'll go.
I'm going to go see Mr. Dexter.
Good. But tell him you can't travel anywhere for a few weeks.
I'll do nothing of the sort.
Good luck.
He doesn't need it. He's an asshole.
That man is not your average security guard. He looks serious. Here's my passport.
Welcome, Mr. Rector. You can go through to Mr. Dexter's office. Use the elevator, sir.
Thank you.
And you can see the clunky animation there I was talking about as he was walking away. You can see how...
Ah, Mr. Rector. What a pleasure to finally meet you. I've heard about your remarkable talents.
Which I presume you'd like to rent in the near future.
Precisely. Please, come in and sit down. This is Mr. Reichart, my associate.
Mr. Rector?
Hello.
Before we discuss the job that we have in mind, I hope you won't object to a simple exercise.
Oh? I'm afraid I left my performing monkey hat at home.
Please don't take it like that. I think as a historian, you'll find it quite fascinating.
I'll think about it.
So anyway, that's the general gist of how the mechanics work and everything, and I don't want to give any spoilers or anything away. Like I said, the plot is good, the story is good, the graphics and the animation have some issues. I do not like the main character. Now, maybe as the game goes on, I made it to Chapter 3 before I got to one of those game-breaking bugs where it just froze and I can't go any further. But up until that point, I still don't like the main character. So maybe as the game progresses past that, maybe he has an epiphany and he becomes a much more likable person or whatnot. But at this point, I actually like his assistant and another NPC that comes in, somewhere between here and Chapter 3 that comes into the game. I like that character. So, but it'll be up to you whether or not you find this character. I mean, maybe you would prefer playing kind of an a-hole, that goes around and is kind of pompous and everything. Maybe that's, to each their own. So, in any case, that's kind of where we're at on this. I can't give it much more of a review because I wasn't able to finish it. Once they release the patch that they say should be out sometime this month, and then I can finish the game, then I will give it a second review in its entirety once I'm able to finish it. So that'll do it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.